Hello folks, this is Roz with the MTG Noob here today for the 6-pack sealed event with RTR. Joining me today, very special guest, Josh. Say hi, Josh.
Howdy, howdy.
We're here today to look at some cards and embrace the scratch-off ticket people in all of us, because that's why I play sealed. Alright, so let me fail to navigate this thing here and bring out the enormous card.
The enormous card.
There we go. Sometimes it doesn't want to listen to me.
There you go.
So the first thing we're going to do here, I guess, is take a look at our rares and ooh and ah at them and hope that they're decent. So we're seeing Sphinx of the Chimes, Cryptborn Horror, man, Archon of the Triumvirate, Search the City, no. Collective Blessing and Cyclonic Rift.
Looks like blue.
Yeah, so apparently right now the deck is like, play blue, and then there's this Collective Blessing like, no, play me, but there's so much good blue. So I guess we'll go ahead and just put our stuff out of the way for right now and take a look at what is left. This is terrible. And we'll take a look at what is left. Hopefully blue is somewhat deep. Wow, look at all the black.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we were looking at blue and white, what do we got here? Tristani's Judgment, Phantom General, Eyes in the Skies. Okay, so a bunch of Tristani so far. A bunch of Selesnya. Army Guard, Sunspire Griffin, Stellar Songbirds, Avenging Arrow. There's an Arrest. Concordia Pegasus, Swift Justice, which I do enjoy, and then like maybe an Ethereal Armor. Okay, so pretty much everything here is playable, I think. What are your thoughts on this bunch here?
I mean, Cellar is good with Collective Blessing. Sunspire Griffin's going to be difficult to cast unless you're heavy white. But Eyes in the Skies is good. Yeah, it looks okay.
Moving into the blue here, Syncopate, Double Runewing, Double Tower Drake, Paralyzing Grasp, Inaction Injunction, Crosstown Courier, Mizium Skin, Fairy Imposter. Not super impressed with the blue. I'm liking the Syncopate. Inaction Injunction is okay.
Double Tower Drake is good in white.
Yeah, if you're going white and you have the white to back, if you're going white-blue and you have the white to back it up, I don't mind a Double Tower Drake. This Fairy Imposter is like good if you have some Arresters or some Justiciars.
Or Void Wielder, yeah.
Just about anything, but we don't have any of that. So we have an Azurius deck with no Azurius cards. Or what we want to be an Azurius deck with no Azurius cards. Well, looking onward. Terrace Worm, you get to go over on the side. We remember you from last time. Assassin Strike is sometimes too expensive. I'll go ahead and just put that in the maybe pile. Destroy the Evidence is a no. 3 Perilous Shadows.
That's bad news.
Why has this occurred? A Slum Reaper, a launch party is fine. A Dark Revenant, I don't like this card. What are your thoughts on Dark Revenant?
I don't like it at all.
Okay. I find that it's a card that will basically keep you from actually getting out of the hole when you're in it. And if I'm winning, I'd almost rather play something else for 4 mana. Okay, so Ultimate Price is fantastic.
Looks like a low curve from here to the bottom.
It is. It looks like it's all 2s and 1s. Grim Roustabout, fine. Thrillkill Assassin, lovely. Shrieking Affliction, there's a deck that likes this card. Drainpipe Vermin is like, if you're forced to play it. A pair of Deviant Glees and a Cremate. Okay.
Yeah, those are not the low drops that you want, though.
No. So black has black has, I think, 3 cards that, like, I'm kind of excited about. There's, like, a Thrillkill Assassin, an Ultimate Price, and, like, maybe this Grim Roustabout if you're using, like, Deviant Glees and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think Launch Party is a lot better than advertised. I really have come to respect that card just because it's complete removal of 1 creature from the game. I think it plays pretty well, so I like that one.
Sure, Launch Party is definitely not a bad card. Looking over here in red, Dual Tenement Crasher, the dual things that are the triple things that we're getting here, and I already see a dual Batterhorn. Dual Batterhorn, Annihilating Fire. There's a Splatter Thug, an Electricity and a Trickery, and a Dynacharge. So this is looking to shape up like a fantastic pool here. Okay, so Splatter Thug is great. Annihilating Fire is definitely okay. But a Dual Tenement Crasher. Now, I'm one of the guys that don't mind Tenement Crasher. I don't mind this card, but it's not like a card where I'm like, you know, this is exactly what I want to be playing for 6 mana.
Yeah.
Alright, so far, I think the thing that is impressing me the most is our white if you're in Selesnya.
Right. We hadn't looked at our dual color cards yet, and I
No.
think those will. You got a bunch of them. Look at all of them over there.
Oh yeah, we'll see if those are any good. Green is shooting off here with the Centaur's Herald. That's fine. The Urban Burgeoning always finds its way into green.
Mm-hmm.
Arrow Predation, I like my Arrow Predations. Chorus of Might is fine. Karaz the Monitor is good in the right deck, which is funny because, like, in the solid colors, we don't have any Golgari except for this guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Roboback Rhino is fine if you have some good things to put on it, like some Knightly Valors that we don't have.
Right. That would be nice.
Axebane Stag is like this hulking beater that maybe someone will play, and then Horncaller's Chant is fantastic if you're ramping, which we have no Axebane, Guardians, or anything of the sort. Okay, so here's what we got. Quite frankly, I'm not impressed with any of these solids right now, but hopefully our dual colors will really take the cake here. Okay, so we got 2 common bonds.
Ooh, very nice. And 2 Centaur healers, huh?
Okay, so
wow.
So apparently, and a Call the Conclave. Now we're getting somewhere.
Yeah.
And I see a Fall the Gavel, I see a Hussar Patrol, and then I see 2 new Prov Guild Mages. Okay.
Wow.
I see a Dramatic Rescue. And in Essence Backlash, is this playable or not? What do you think about this card?
I mean, I think it's situational. If you're playing the Axebane Guardian drop Terrace Worms and Ogre Jailbreaker deck, it's fine.
Okay. I think that at best this is like a card that you maybe sideboard into, so we'll put that over there. The Chemist's Trick. I've been playing this format the whole time. I still don't know if this is worth anything. I feel like it should be. I really do. I just never end up playing it.
Yeah, I've seen it played once, and it wasn't that spectacular. I've never played it personally.
So Rakdos Shred Freak is... that's alright. Spawner Exmati, I like Spawn. I don't mind a Spawn.
Yeah.
Rakdos Rage Mutt, Golgari Longlegs, Sluiceway Scorpion. So here's our 2 Golgari cards. There you go. The Dreg Mangler and the Sluiceway Scorpion. To be quite honest, though, I don't think that Golgari right now has a place in our potential pool.
I agree.
So now this Golgari Longlegs is definitely playable if we're going into Selesnya. So I guess the idea here is, do we go into Selesnya and splash something like maybe a Cyclonic Rift, which is very splashable?
Check your key runes there real quick.
We have one. We have the Azurius Key Rune, and we do have a Selesnya Guildgate.
Okay, yeah.
So we do have fixing for Azorius, and we have our Selesnya Guildgate. And impressively, that's actually all we see here in the fixing. So I think Cryptborn Horror is going to get put over here. And Sinks of the Chimes. Is it 2 mana intensive for splashing like we want to do? Probably. I'm not really sure.
I wish you had a couple of Gatecreeper Vines. That would be huge.
Yeah, that'd be pretty nice. I think that all of these cards are definite potential cards for what we have. And things like Eyes in the Skies and Cellar Songbirds go very well with Collective Blessing. So let's...
So does Drudge... You got a Drudge Beetle in there.
Okay. Yep.
You got some other playables, yeah, definitely.
So I guess we'll throw down with the Selesnya and see where it takes us. Okay, so Tristani's Judgment, Phantom General, Eyes in the Skies. I don't know about the Army card. Man, I do like my Sunspire Griffins, but let's see what else we got here. The Arrest is fantastic. Concordia Pegasus, yay or nay? I'm kind of a fan. What do you feel?
I mean, I think it's okay. It's a good blocker. I mean, it blocks a lot of stuff. And for you, you're going to want to get to the late game, so I think it's fine.
Okay. Over here in green, obviously we can pretty much snap in our Herald, our Drudge Beetle, these Common Bonds, these Centaur Healers.
Oh, yeah.
And this Call of the Conclave. Right now I'm going to leave in the Cyclonic Rift and the Archon just to kind of like see how it looks.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's where we are. We don't have enough playables at all. Our curve looks alright, I guess. There's nothing in the 5 slot. So, I mean, something like a Longlegs could come in there. And then it's almost like, what else are we doing here? We're showing 9 creatures, but we actually have Call the Conclave, Eyes in the Skies. So...
Look at your blue again real quick. And your blue is not very mana intensive. I mean, you've got the double Tower Drake. You don't have to put those in. I'm just saying you've got the syncopate, which is decent, but you want to play that typically on turn 2.
Right.
Not always, but occasionally. You've got the Hussar Patrol, which is good, and you've got the double Guild Mage, which is really, I mean, I think personally that's the worst Guild Mage, or maybe second to worst. But you've also got a dramatic rescue, which is also very good. To me, it would be very tempting to play the Azorius and just hope to hit the collective blessing, because you do have the key rune, you get the Sphinx, you've got some fixing, you got a gate. I don't know, you've got a bomby sealed though, there's no doubt. You got some nice bombs and some decent synergy.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, if we tried to pack more creatures in, or more cards in here, we can throw in something like a Chorus of Might. I'm not sure if I would play 2 of those. Roboback Rhino might be fine.
Yeah, I like him a lot better with Knightly Valor or Ethereal Armor. I mean, the Common Bond is fine, but or with Scavenge.
Yeah, I really do too. I mean, we're showing a Drudge Beetle here for a Scavenge, and that's pretty much it. These Common Bonds are fine. And
but I'm a greedy son of a gun, though. Not to interrupt you, but
no, go ahead.
I'm very greedy. If it were me, I would, and you do what you want because these are your tickets. I'm just saying, if it were me, I would slam in the Azorius cards too, because the healers. I mean, if you can hit 3 mana with a forest and a plains, the healers are going to stand in there and do a lot of work. You've got some stuff early, and your bombs are just super good, I think.
Well, I'm a huge fan of Dramatic Rescue. I love that card, and I think there's no problem playing that. The Guild Mage, he probably is not the worst. He's probably the Guild Mage I like this. He's probably the second worst. I think the Izzet Guild Mage is probably the one that I have found use with in a limited format the least.
Yeah, it's between those two, I think. So what happens, Roz? What happens if you throw in the Hussar Patrol, if you throw in the 2 Guild Mages, and if you throw in the Sphinx?
All right, the Sphinx is sitting there.
The double blue Sphinx of the Chimes that's in the maybe pile up top.
That's Buddy over here. Okay.
Yeah. What are we looking at there? 14 creatures. How many cards is that? 20.
We're looking at 26. So we would cut. We're gonna go ahead and cut 3 of them.
15 creature spells with Eyes in the Skies.
So that's correct.
16 with Call the Conclave.
Right. And that's pretty good, I think, for a Collective Blessing deck. I mean, if that's one of the items that you want.
Mm-hmm. So now, what are your, thinking about where you want to go with your mana and everything? What do you want to cut from here?
Well, let's see. We kept the Sunspire Griffin out.
Mm-hmm,
so our
true.
only double cost is going to be this Golgari Longleg, since it has to be green, because we're not playing any black.
Mm-hmm.
This Collective Blessing, which is also a double green card, and then we have a single double blue.
Yeah. It's very bomby, but I don't know if it's worth the risk or not.
Yeah, that's kind of what we're looking at. Is just like, does it have the... is it going to have just... Are we going to see the right cards? Is it going to have the actual... Is it going to click together? I don't know. So
just for me, and this is, I'll let you make your decisions after this, but just being the color commentator here, I think the weakest cards, in my opinion, are probably the Longlegs and the Rhino, just because they don't specifically... I mean, the Longlegs is fine, but it does tax your mana, and kind of unnecessarily, because you've got the healers, you've got some bounce. Chorus of Might is okay. I don't know. It really depends on how greedy you want to get. And in a 4-ticket sealed, I personally would be really greedy. Yeah. Because you win 1 pack, you're pretty much even.
So the key here is play the best cards, I think.
And I think you've got some nice synergy. I don't think you'll really have a huge problem hitting double blue by turn 6.
Yeah.
With the key rune, I think that's good fixing.
So the key here then is cutting a single card, 1 more card.
Yeah, if you want to go with that. I'm just kind of playing devil's advocate for the Azorius.
And I think I feel fine with that. That's fine. Oh, is that a
Do you like
foily
Force
Eyes
of
in
Might?
Disguise?
I
I'm
like what you're doing here, separating them out.
I'm taking a look at just our non-creaturey things in general. I mean, this is Azorius Kieran is like fixing whatever.
Yeah.
But we only have a few minutes, so we do have to figure ourselves out. But I think from here, this is just the feeling I get. Course of Might can probably go.
That would have been my cut as well.
I think
this
I
is
like
really greedy, but it is kind of early.
I think I like Common Bonds too much. I've always been a big fan of Swift Justice, and Tristani right now and this arrest is kind of our that's kind of our removal right now. If we hit Cyclonic Rift mana, then yeah, I guess we win.
You got a rescue too. That also counts. And Swift Justice.
Oh no, the rescue is fantastic, and the Swift Justice is a fine trick as well. The thing I like about Dramatic Rescue is that it's like the last word. It's like, oh, you know, so you pump your creature, and then I Swift Justice, and then, I don't know, you have a Syncopate or something. So let's go ahead and throw down some land here and see what this looks like. I'm sure it's going to give us some interesting lands. So sorting by color, we can see here that we have what? We're overwhelmingly white with a little bit of everything in the double mana cost. So it wants essentially, well, actually I should have thrown down this Selesnya. Guild Gate. And probably take out a Plains for it.
I agree.
So at that point we are looking at, what are we looking at here?
You've got 8 white. What is it? 5 blue.
5 dedicated blue.
5 green.
And then 5 dedicated green, and then a little bit of fixing with Azorius Keyrune.
Yeah. For me, probably you think. I mean, I'll let you talk and I'll respond.
Let's see here.
I think your critical colors are green, white.
Right. And I'm kind of wondering. Well, it's like I wanted to shove one more green in there. And it's like, do I cut the plains or the island? If I cut the island, we're at 4 islands with an Azorius Keyrune, and we've got 47 seconds.
Okay, I think that's smart. I think another forest is important.
Yeah, well, that's the big thing there, is that good stuff like our Centaur healers. You know, this guy's on turn 1, so I think that's what we're going to go ahead and do here. I think we can submit this. Give it a shot. This is what it looks like in the end. Not too bad. Nothing in the 5-drop area, but what can you do? And
yeah, I think it's really balmy in certain areas, so I think that looks really good.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how it treats us, and we'll be back when the first round comes around. See you guys then.